Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is F1 Tonight, Netherlands. I am, of course, your host, Daniel Huzzah Burt. And joining me tonight, the fantastic, the marvellous, the brilliant, it's Adrian Stats Rich. How are you, sir?
Very well, thanks, Dan. And yourself?
Yes, brilliant, brilliant, very good. And of course,
Good
ladies
stuff.
and gents, you join us this evening for the Mexican Grand Prix, round 18 of this F1 Tonight Netherlands season. Which one are we on now? 6?
This is season 6,
Season 6.
round 18.
18, yes, of course, it is. So, without further ado, we're all settled in, ready for another good night of racing, I do hope. So, let's transition over to the driver standings for this evening. Of course, a good race last time out for Nicky Visser sees him take P1 back from Damien Hartman. He's now on 240 points at the top of the table in the Red Bull. Damien Hartman, of course, already mentioned him in the Toro Rosso. He's second place at the moment. 236 points for him in second. Boy Williamson, the sister Red Bull, 219 points for him. He is currently sat third. Then looking down the rest of the order, Baz Brain's first up for McLaren. He's closing in on the leaders. 192 points for him. He's fourth. Hans Vanderberg for the other Toro Rosso, fifth there with 136 points. Marcel Droning for Williams. He's first up for those. They're very close on the leaderboard. He's 123 points. P6. Seventh place his teammate, Sander Herman there with 106 points. It's still de Witt for Renault. He is 8th with 104 points. Guido Urshan, the second McLaren there, P9 at the moment, 71 points for him. Don Donkel, the first Ferrari up on the standings here for us tonight, 63 points for him. He is currently sat in 10th position. Peter Phillip for Haas, 11th at the moment with 45 points. Nishay Mahadra there in the Renault, 12th with 38 points. It's Mark Stappers, the second Ferrari there with 31 points. He's currently sat in 13th. Paul Correa is for the Haas there as well. He's 14th with 9 points. Martin Pardy Cooper there, Alfa Romeo. He is 15th with 9. R.A. Kopp there for Racing Point, 16th place at the moment with 4 points. Miguel Torney there with 17th place with 3 points. The second Alfa Romeo up on the board. Kevin Van Delft, 0 points for him so far this season, but I'm sure we'll see him score some points in the next couple of races. 18th place at the moment, and of course, bringing up the rear with no drivers as of yet, it's the 2 Mercedes. So, Adrian, it's heating up at the top end, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely, and I think epic is probably the only word to describe it. Really, I mean, it's been sensational in terms of comebacks. How they go in a season. He is right behind Nicky at the moment. Obviously, they changed positions after the last race. Damien was leading before Japan. Afterwards, a good race for Nicky sees him take the top step again. So that is looking very exciting for the rest of the season here as we continue. Boy Williamson though is slowly closing in, isn't he? Yeah, behind Baz, who's... Yeah, that was it, yeah. Obviously Baz there as well. Not to forget to mention him, he's one of those ones that's been striking hard lately. And he's fourth, not too far off the back of those top 3. And of course, it's still pretty close as we look further back. There's that kind of that fifth to 8th. Would you say there's that kind of that group there between Hans Vanderberg and Sildervit who are looking pretty close. There could be some position changes there as we carry on. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, you are. My apologies. I don't know how that happened. You were unmuted and then somehow back muted. Right, you're back with us. Adrian's here.
Hello.
Hello. Huzzah! Right, well, that's brilliant. I do apologise for that, everybody. Adrian is with me, of course, this evening. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know how that happened, but there we go.
No
Um,
worries.
so
I've
yeah.
got to redo my bit again or not?
No, that's okay. We'll move on. Right to carry on.
No, fair enough. No problem. Didn't miss much.
No. I mean, just discussing the standings there, which are very, very close. We were saying though about the Hans van der Berg to Sildervit there, that sort of midfield group, still looking pretty close. Things could change a bit there as we carry on.
Yes, it's very tight in the midfield there. Yeah, sort of 6th place downwards, really, down to what sort of 10th.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone could take that 5th place spot.
Absolutely, yeah. Still very close stuff there for those guys. And then even down towards the back end of the standings here from 14th back there, there's only a couple of points between those guys, so could see a lot of jumping around as they start to score points.
Yes, exactly.
So very good stuff from those guys. Moving on then to the Constructors' Championship this evening. Of course, Red Bull still leading the way with a mighty 459 points. They are looking very, very strong at the moment. Toro Rosso, though, aren't too far behind, 372 points. So they could catch up by the end of the season, although it is a big gulf. They could still take the fight to Red Bull come the final race. McLaren there, 263 points. We're starting to see that gap emerge now. They are P3. Not too far behind there. Rocket Williams Racing, 229 points. So again, could see another fight between those two as we draw to the end of Season 6. Renault F1 team there, 142 points. So this is where we start to see the second half of this Constructors' Championship battle unfold. Friday, 94 points. Again, not too far off, so perhaps another battle start to ensue as we get the final race. And Mercedes, they are still frozen on 82 with no drivers yet to their name. They are stuck on 82 points for the moment. Haas, though, will be looking to overcome them towards the end of the season. They're on 54 points for now. Alfa Romeo are currently on 12. And Racing Point there at the back of the pack with 3 points. So, as I said, Adrian, there's a couple of battles maybe going to develop towards the end of the season, but apart from that, I think it's looking like we might have our standings now. What do you reckon?
Yes, it looks like they were almost set in stone. Yeah, I mean it's it's pretty close. Third and fourth, fairly close. Top 2 though, I mean it's mathematically possible for Toro Rosso to win it, but it's going to be quite difficult. I mean you can score 44 points again, more than another team.
Yeah.
Both your drivers get 1-2 and the fastest lap, and the other team get nothing. But it's it's very, very difficult, particularly when you take into consideration the consistency of the Red Bulls, especially.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you say, it's mathematically possible, but if it will be possible, that remains to be seen. It is quite a big gap there. Down the back, though, like you say, almost set in stone. We've got the Racing Point now from Romeo there, pretty close, only 7 points between those two, so we can probably expect some changing to occur as we continue the season.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it'll be it's going to be an exciting last 3 races after this one.
Yeah, we've got USA, Brazil, and then our final race Abu Dhabi. So yeah, 3 races to go. So that I think we expect to see a few changes down the back of the order there.
Yes, indeed.
So moving on to the grid overview tonight. So we're at the Mexican Grand Prix, the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez, of course. You Spanish guys out there, I hope I delivered that well for you. Circuit length tonight of 5.5 kilometres. With a race length 308.5 kilometres almost there, and 71 laps this evening. So a pretty hefty race on hands. Of course, the first sector brings us down that mighty first straight. A lot of chance to overtake there as the cars carry huge speed into turn 1. A couple of corners there, then bring us down the second DRS straight, and the sector ends just before turn 4. The second sector then, the big windy one, that takes us through 4, 5 and 6, these slow corners there before unleashing us into the very, very quick S section. Very difficult to keep the car steady there sometimes, but a very entertaining section to watch. Sector 2 ends just before turn 12. And then the third and final sector brings us through that very, very nice stadium section. Very cool watching through there as the cars go very slowly through 13 and unleash their lap through 16 and 17 to complete a lap of this circuit. The first DRS detection zone, is between corners 9 and 10 before arriving at that section after turn 11. The shortest one of this circuit, one of the harder ones to make an overtake come to fruition, but you're quickly then invited onto the second zone, which your detection for that is between 14 and 15, and then you've got that huge DRS detection zone there from the start-finish straight all the way into turn 1. That's probably going to be our most reoccurring overtaking point of this evening's race. Couple of turns there then bring us to the last one. That point obviously still retaining the DRS from the corners way at the beginning of the lap between 14 and 15. You get DRS the whole way through. So again, if you don't get it right the first time, you've only got 3 corners to wait until you can try and get it right the second time before sector 2. So a couple of points there. One of the trickier tracks I think probably to affect an overtake besides the DRS points I mentioned, Adrian.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's very difficult to try and make an overtake on some of the corners. There's not too many sort of very low speed corners for you to accelerate well out of and make the pass. Hence, most of them probably will be made under DRS. But yeah, as you said, that second DRS zone, yeah, it's only a couple of corners after the first one, a bit like Australia has a similar kind of setup there. And speaking of setups, it's very, very important to get your setup right if you want to get sort of turns 7 to 11 correctly. That is sort of fast sweeping S's. It can make or break your lap really if your setup's not right. Make and break your race because it's you can spin the back end out.
Absolutely, yeah. As you said, some very, very challenging corners there to get right, and setup is key. I'm sure we'll touch on that as we go into qualifying. Any sort of thoughts on this track? One you like?
I would love to say yes, but I'd probably be lying.
Yeah, I think I would too.
That's from a driver's and a sort of spectator's view. Yeah, it's not one of my personal favourites, but I know that there are drivers out there who do like it, and some of them in this very race.
Yeah, I'm sure I've said it a lot as I've commentated these races, but for me at least, it's one of those ones you get it tied up nicely. It feels pretty good. But like you say, from a spectator point, it's not always the most exciting. I would like to think we've had some good races in real Formula 1. As we've introduced the track to the calendar, it gives the odd good race some good overtaking points. We've seen Daniel Ricciardo make some good progress there through. I think sector 1 to 2, that second DRS straight delivers some great overtaking opportunities. So hopefully we'll see some of those tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, we hope so.
Absolutely, yeah. Fingers crossed for another good race like last time. Without further ado, then, do you want to take the guys through the current runners and riders in the session as I transition over?
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure.
Perfect.
So first of all, notice there are 4 drivers that are greyed out. They have deliberately crashed out because they are all suffering with back starts due to accumulation of penalties, and that is Nisha Mahadasingh, Kevin Van Delft, Baz Den Brien. That's quite important, that one, because he's 4th in the championship and won the last race, and Paul Carey as well in the Haas. We've got a couple of latecomers due to attend shortly. Just stand by. I'll try and find out who they were. One was Boy Williamson in the other Red Bull, Nicky's teammate, and 3rd in the championship. And the other one is Hans Vanderberg in the Toro Rosso, who is 4th in the championship.
Blimey, okay, good stuff.
Yeah. So 2 very quick drivers will be starting from the back, as well as Den Brien. So from that point of view, you have to say that this race may be between Nicky Visser and Damien Hartman, 1 and 2 in the championship. But I'm just going to run through the other drivers who are attending. We've got Steele de Wit, of course. Sander Hermans in the Williams. Expect big things from him, actually. He hasn't had a win since the first race of the season, but I expect him to do pretty well here. Guido Urshan, that's Baz's teammate in the McLaren. Hans Vanderberg is in the session. Sorry, didn't see him creep in there. He was expected to be arriving a bit later, but he has made it. Apologies. Marcel Droenig in the Williams. Mark Stappers in the Ferrari. Peter Philip in the Haas. John Donkel in the other Ferrari. And Aaron Kopp in the racing point.
Harry.
Miguel Torni ran off the top 12 in the Alfa Romeo.
Absolutely, yeah, looking good. As you said, those guys down the back. I don't want to rule out Baz Brian because, as we saw last time, and like you said to me, you know, you never rule him out. He can always come from the back of the grid and challenge for that first place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he does. I mean, he's a sort of master strategist, as we've often said in the past about Baz, and the fact that he will be starting obviously outside the top 10, starting from 15th, in fact, that gives him free choice of tyre. So I'm just curious as to what he is going to opt for the start of this race.
Yeah, indeed.
In the UK race, we had a number of drivers on the hard tyre. Perhaps some of them not necessarily by choice. They had a bit of a lap one incident, and some of the drivers came in and went on to the hard and actually did very, very well on that tyre. That there isn't too much sort of degradation on this circuit, and also the hard tyre isn't particularly slow. In fact, it's only about 1.2 slower than the soft tyre. Normally, the difference between those two tyres is about 1.5 seconds.
Yep.
At best, but yeah, here there is considerably less difference between the two.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's probably part to play, if it's modelled in the game at least, to that high air pressure, or I should say high altitude, low drag on the cars.
Yes, it could well be.
Of course, you've touched on the wheels and strategy. Any strategy ideas? What would you be looking to do in this race?
Well, looking at the available strategies, I would say probably the two favourites have got to be, for me anyway. I'll probably get some people saying that these are totally wrong, but my favourite strategy would be to opt for the soft tyre to begin. Probably not overfuel the car, but push hard on that soft tyre until you're sort of about -4 laps of fuel, and then jump onto the hard tyre for the one stop, and then manage that tyre to the end. That would probably be my ideal choice. You may see a lot of drivers on the two-stop strategy. A soft medium is possible, but more likely to be soft medium.
Yeah.
A little bit safer with that one.
Yeah, I was actually thinking strategy on the way home from work today, because I literally
such a sad day.
I know. What am I like? I have no idea about strategy. Normally it's Jeff that guides me along. I was thinking, I mean, what are the chances of a soft, hard, soft?
I don't know about it for the viewers, but you're cracking up for me, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry, I do apologize.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
that improves. Oh, good stuff. So yes, I was saying, if you can hear me, what do you think of the chance of a soft, hard, soft strategy?
Yeah, that's probably going to be the case if drivers are sort of some distance away from the car behind or in front, and they'll want to try and get the fastest lap of the race come the end of the race. But yeah, it kind of depends on what happens during the race, whether drivers will change from their one stop to soft hard to a two stop soft hard to soft, because it's just going to depend on how they're managing that hard tyre, how much fuel they've actually had in the car all race, because that can also have a negative effect on the tyres.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so there's a number of things for the drivers to think about. Like, they can't always stick to plan A.
No, that's right. And that's part of the trick, really, isn't it? It's having a good race, is being able to adapt to those tricky situations when you need to change to plan B, or even further, C, D, E.
It can always dead.
Yeah. Wasn't going to say anything. So I have get a report. Might be a bit quiet on the.
What with the game sound?
Yeah, it is turned back up to 10, so we shouldn't be having too much. I don't know if it's because. Yeah, just so you guys know, we are running it through Twitch and then to YouTube in an effort to improve the quality over the last stream. So that could be a reason. Twitch is turned up to max, as well as the game. So fingers crossed that improves as we go on.
The amazing Eddie Ferreira has just advised, he's actually watching live, by the way.
Oh, brilliant, good
and
stuff.
He has just advised for you to unmute the game volume, apparently. That is...
The game...
Yeah,
it's all unmuted. I mean, when it just shot up then, so it should be okay now. I think it's okay. Nothing's muted as far as I know. So, we should be good to go. I mean, I'm hearing it out my TV, so definitely game sound for me. I know that's not the important part of it, but I've got the game sound. So you guys should be getting it too, hopefully. As of course we get into the second qualifying session. 12 drivers remain. I think we lost a couple more than planned. We should 16.
No, we had 16. Yeah, we had 16 to start and 4 had back start. So
oh yeah, of course.
12.
Yes.
That is correct.
Thank you. Very good stuff. So I think first to come across the line for us this evening here in Mexico, it's going to be Hans Vanderberg. He is currently coming through the stadium section now. 15-16, getting ready to throw the car at this track, see how it responds. He's on medium tyres for us. There you go, you can see what the drivers have fitted. He is now starting his lap. Alfa Romeo coming up behind him as well. I think that's Miguel Torni. Coming down that big straight.
Sildervit is actually the first one on the lap.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Sildervit followed by Guido Hirsch, and Silder's actually come off the track.
Oh, blimey, okay. Let's have a look at that. He's run wide there, yet through the S's. Tricky corners to get right there, and he's obviously discovered that himself. Running a little bit wide.
Sander Herman's on a lap as well. He's actually fastest in that first sector of the 5 drivers that have crossed that line. And Vanderberg as well had almost equalled the first sector of
Ronde. Yeah, perfect stuff. So those two are looking close to Williams and the Toro Rosso. That's on board there.
Just ahead, Hirsch is just coming under the sort of final bend actually. It's not a bad lap from Guido.
The McLaren driver there at 1:17.8, looking pretty good there on the mediums, for sure.
Yep.
And Zander's going to be next across the lap there.
That's right, the purple 1 and 2 for Zander.
It's going to be close then.
4 tenths up.
Well, but loses it in that last sector, it looks like. He gets an 18.2 in the Williams.
Down.
Miguel Torni has retired.
Sorry, in that last sector. Yeah.
Miguel Torni is out of the session. I don't know if that was in the pits or on track. I presume on track because he was out.
That was on track.
So Miguel, the first victim of the Mexican Grand Prix so far. Same for him.
Indeed.
I presume the S's took him there. It's a tricky section to get right on the best of days.
Yeah, can't find his car on track, but I presume it was there. Damien Hartman though, 17.1. That's on the medium tyre. Lots of drivers opting for that medium tyre at the moment. Only 4 currently on the softs.
Yeah, and then you've got John Dongle there being the outlier on the hards. He's in the pits, of course, so we're not sure if he's going to use them. On board.
Yeah. What you've got to remember as well in this session, only 2 drivers are going to drop out. Well, one of them is Miguel Torni. So John only has to actually beat 1 driver on that set of hard tyres.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
That could really make the strategy race here. Just on board with Hans Vanderberg. He's coming around that iconic stadium section. A little bit of the back end sliding out through 16. That barrier looks to be dangerous there. That's out on track. 16, but he comes across the line. Joins his Toro Rosso teammate up the front at 1:17.666. Unlucky for some. Hopefully not for Hans Vanderberg there, as he's P2. About just over 5 tenths behind his teammates. Those two looking fairly competitive.
Yeah, quite a sloppy first sector actually. His middle one wasn't particularly great either, but his final sector, yeah, 19.9. It's about 3 tenths faster than anybody else at the moment. So yeah, that's promising stuff from Hans.
Yeah, very good stuff. Worth mentioning Ari Kopp there, 1:19.2, so he's set a lap on his mediums. He brings up the rear of the grid so far. He's P6. And John Dongle.
Everything
right?
Mark Stapper's Donkle's teammate was on a purple first sector on those medium tyres, and then he just invalidated it through the S's. He's going to be absolutely gutted by that.
Yeah. I mean, this is another track that's got elements of Russia in it, hasn't it? Where there's not a lot of walls around it, but a lot of open track with just runoff area every side, so it's quite easy to cut.
Yeah, it's just especially when you're pushing so hard as well, and he might have got a bit excited by that purple number that popped up.
Yeah,
he may have been thinking about what could have been before it happened.
And we're now on board with John Donkle. He's watching him. He's on a hard time. So he'll be on to watch, see what kind of time he can set. He's coming around turn 1 and 2.
Well, fastest first sector is 28.2, which is what his teammate Stad has set. So it'd be interesting to see what sort of time he gets across the line here.
28.5 I see on my screen. How are you looking on yours?
Yes, 28.572. So losing 4/10. You multiply that by 3, and you're going to be about that 1.2 difference.
Well, fairly reasonable for running the hards, meeting the expected deficit. He's coming through the windy S's now. White stroke, as we've seen with Miguel Torni, we suspect he probably went off there and sealed a bit, running a little bit wide through there earlier this session.
Seal's gone top though, 17-0.
Oh yeah, look at that. Not struggling anymore. Up there. That last one, that barrier, that one, back a bit wide about that one. Hopefully not. Comes to 67. So, on the Herman there, looking a bit under threat from a hard runner. 2/10 difference there.
Yep.
Stuff there from John.
Yeah, that's pretty good going. That's certainly going to be enough to get him through and allow him to start on that hard tyre without having to go back out in this session. So yeah, that is mission complete for John.
Yep, good stuff. He'll be happy with that, as you say. Marcel Droning is on a hot lap himself. He's just completed that second sector, 57.4 so far for him. How's he looking there, Adrian? And coming round the final corner there.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Sorry.
Huzzah. Hello.
Sorry, my Skype just went a bit funny there.
Oh. All back now by the looks of it. And Marcel Droning there, putting his car straight into P3. 117.2, looking very good in the Williams. Of course, he is on the quickest tyre. But still, P3, he'll be chuffed with that.
Yeah, purple last sector again. Lots of drivers just not doing very good first and second sectors compared to each other. But then, whoever sort of goes top is just smashing it in the third.
Yeah, there's a bit of a trend going on there.
Yeah, Sander Hermans, Dronig's teammate, actually purple 1 and 2 at the moment. Expect him to go top. He's on the soft tyre.
He's looking very quick. 8/10 I think in total. I just saw there on my screen after that second sector. Going through the stadium section now. Again, watching out for that dodgy barrier.
So both Williams setting their fastest laps in Q2 on that soft tyre. 16.0. Look at that.
Well, that'll do. Sander Herman will be pleased with that in the Williams. Of course, we've got our other two runners yet to set a lap. Mark Stappers and Nicky Visser.
Stappers is purple again in that first sector, and he's managing
to keep it on track.
He's got away with that. He's kept it on track in the S's.
Good stuff.
28.3. That is just a blink of an eye slower than Sander Herman's middle sector.
Looking good.
It's going to be good.
Stappers. Going to get that good exit here. Another turn 17 across the line. Oh, and 6/10 off the top, but still P2. Cracking stuff there from the Ferrari.
Yeah, he'll be ecstatic about that. He'll be bouncing around in the car.
Bouncing around in the cockpit is Mark Stappers. Nicky Visser there across the line. 1:16.9, so he's looking very, very solid on the mediums.
Yeah, very competitive time there on that tyre. Yeah, he's going to be one to watch for the race, as always.
Yeah, like you say, as always. Just looking at the comments there, Eddie is in there. I'm watching you. Oh no, the pressure's on. Glad to have you watching, Eddie. And worth mentioning, actually, these slides that I just run through at the beginning there, Eddie does all of those, so a very, very massive thanks to him for giving us those for the pre-race introduction. They're always spot on, so thanks, Eddie.
He just can't keep away from it, can he?
That's because I can't do it.
Well, I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I thought I'll give Eddie his credit. He does a bloody good job on it. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I don't know if
still such a big big credit to F1 tonight.
Yeah. That stays that way. Here.
Peter Phillips currently on a lap at the moment. He has set a competitive lap at 17.3, which will be enough. This is slightly unnecessary, this lap. I'm just having a look what his fastest lap was set on. Yeah, it was set on the soft tyres, so he's got no real need to actually do this lap because it won't benefit him. He is through. All he's doing is adding another lap of wear to his starting tyre.
Yeah, you're right. Interesting stuff there. Peter Phillips to go for that, but I guess practice makes perfect. Out for another lap if he's unhappy with the car or whatever. Try and reassure himself before the race.
Dan,
yes.
Sorry, I've just seen a piece of wall sticking out where Bottas crashed in the real life Mexican. Was it in qualifying?
Yeah, I have been saying that. I've said this about 5 times tonight. I wonder if I'm muting myself at some point. Yeah, no, I caught that earlier on one of the first hot laps too. That barrier is popped right out. Hoping that no one right there and comes into contact with it. The last thing we want is a Singapore Grand Prix again.
Yeah, no, apologies if. Yes. Yeah, we don't want that, otherwise this could be a very short race indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. So fingers crossed. It looks like that's one of those turns where it's quite slow and they normally get the apex. I mean, it's if they go side by side we could have a problem. So perhaps if the drivers don't know, they might want to just tell each other no overtaking through that last corner.
Ari Cobb about to set a faster lap. I don't know if this is faster than John. Actually, John's actually under pressure now. That's why he's gone out on those soft tyres. But Ari's just about to come across the line. He's beaten John, so he's knocked John down into that zone. I said earlier on, mission complete for John, but actually it wasn't.
No, and he's realised that. He's back out on the soft tyre here, so we'll likely see him. Well, he's definitely going to go out for another hot lap here and try and get himself back into Q3. At the moment, Ari Kopp has done that. P10. All the other drivers, though, still in the pit.
Dronig's out.
Marcel Droning, though, yeah, as you say.
Dronig's out on the medium tyre.
Yeah, so we're starting to see that strategy develop. It's mediums or softs for the drivers here. Of course, 2 guys down the bottom there have got free choice once we get the race underway. But the top 10 here looking to be a mixture of the two.
Dan, I don't know if you're aware, but oh no, Dronig's actually come into the pit. Yeah, he knows he hasn't got to waste energy and tyre wear to set in that lap. Droning actually went originally on the soft tyre, if you remember. He's managed to better that lap on the mediums.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't noticed that. Yeah, good spot.
Both of the Williams, yeah, they both went out on the soft tyre. Looked like they were going for the same strategy, yeah, but Marcel's managed somehow to improve his lap and start on the medium tyre. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I mean, like you said earlier, there's not much of a gap between those 2 tyre combines, but still, it is slower.
Nope.
So yeah, good stuff from Marcel then. He's obviously comfortable on that harder tyre, which will be good for the race.
Yeah.
On Donker though, he's coming around his final lap, so he'll want to be bettering Guido Urshan at the moment. P10 in the McLaren. The Ferrari now coming around that last sector.
Yeah, this is going to knock out Guido. Former teammates as well, I think. John and Guido. Season 4, if I remember correctly. I could be making that up.
I mean, I'm afraid I can't help you there, mate. But there we go, our top 10. Van der Herman there, taking the top spot for Williams, a 1:16.0. 6 tenths ahead of the Ferrari of Mark Stapper's. The notable drivers there. What else we got? Sort of it. Last week's very pacey driver. Went down to P6, but we still got the quick qualifying session of Q3. Everyone will be on the softs there, so that'll be the outright battle for the top. Ari Kopp, though, the I guess we could say the surprise entrant for the top 10 at the moment. But yeah, looking very good down there. He's not too far off the back of Hans Vanderberg in the Toro Rosso, so looking pretty close up and down the field.
Yeah, it's he'll be pleased to get through to Q3. We have seen him in Q3 before, but it's very well done. Dan, I've just got another little glitch to report, I'm afraid. Apparently, our voices are about 12 seconds early compared to what the viewers are seeing on the stream. I don't know why that is. I don't know what we can do about it, but that's the case at the moment.
Yeah, I've just seen that also. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the early option I can see is, obviously this is a new method for tonight, which is Twitch, and then picking it up from my Twitch and transporting it over to the F1 Tonight YouTube. What I can do is stop the stream and quickly stream it to my Xbox app like last time and try it that way. Obviously no issues with the delay that time, but the stream was a bit jumpy, so
right.
I do apologise. We've got a bit of an issue with both sides of it. But if the guys can hear and they want to decide in the chat, in our WhatsApp group, of course, if they want me to try and stream it again, I'm more than happy to quickly jump over there and do that. To improve the delay, but the jumpiness may return. So I think so far this stream looks a bit smoother than last time, at least.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there one step at a time.
Oh, sorry. Our voices are late, not early.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he just said they're delayed, didn't he? See how we go. And all the drivers, of course, coming out on their out laps here. The soft tyres fitted. Go head to head for the final fast session of tonight's qualifying. Just trying to figure out who's going to be first. I think it might be John Donkel. Yeah, so John Donkel then will be first out for us. That barrier looks to be repaired, which is nice. That's not stuck like that for the race, which is good stuff. John Donkel then unleashing the car down this vast straight here. DRS wide open. The yellow's waved in sector 3. Hopefully that's not anyone in difficulty. DRS closes there as he comes through 1, 2 and 3. Complex set of corners there, but you've got to get right on the apex. And he does so. He looks very clean through there. DRS open then for the second DRS section here. He's now charging down to this corner, the iconic corner where we've seen Daniel Ricciardo make some amazing passes in the real races. We'll see if we get some of that tonight. We're then coming round the corners of 6, 7 and 8 before coming into that tricky S section we talked about many times this evening. Didn't get it right first time in Q2 earlier, but looks on the ball now. Touching those curbs just perfectly. Getting that exit curb nicely. The second DRS zone now. Going to be powering into the stadium section. Trying to deliver a very quick first lap for Q3. Great viewing for all the spectators here. A really good part of the track. Around the final couple of corners there. Unleashing the car. You want to get a good traction out of there. Looks pretty smooth. Across the line then, a 1:16.3. So pretty good going there from John Donkel. Obviously we did see Van der Herman, it was at the top there. He was a 1:16 dead last time, so some improvement to be made. But still looking quick there on the soft tyre. Van der Herman there, coming across the line. He's actually gone slower than last time. He's a 16.4. As Nicky Visser shows what he can do there, a 1:16.1. So looking very racy is the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, he's Sander Hermans, his last sector is where he lost the time. The rest of the lap was pretty much spot on.
Yeah, very good stuff. I think it's Marcel Dronig here is going to be...
Damie.
Oh, Damie, yeah,
sorry.
blimey,
Sorry,
yeah. 1:15.8 from the Toro Rosso. Marcel Dronig there, we're just watching, he comes across from P7 with a 1:16.5. Pretty close, a couple of tenths between some of the middle guys there. Very close stuff for them. Yeah, Damien Hartman, that Toro Rosso driver, he's showing he wants that championship at 1:15.8 on his first lap. 2 tenths quicker than Mark Stapper's there in the Ferrari, so very good stuff from him. I think next up is going to be Sil de Wit, who's just entering the stadium section in his Renault. The last couple of corners here to overcome, looking pretty smooth. Again, these vital last couple of corners there where you don't want to lose the back end. Oh, but he's coming into the pit. He is not happy. Perhaps a minor change to whatever you can change for the setup. There's not much to be changed. Is there a couple? I mean, I think you get a wing setting to do. That's about it. But you may have burnt those tyres out there on that first lap, so he'll be looking to perhaps change those and come out again. Peter Phillips on his out lap in the Haas. Other runners to cross the line since we've begun this session. Ari Kopp is P8 with a 1:17.8. A bit of a gap there to the next guys, but I'm sure that's a pace deficit we can see Ari overcome as we carry on through this session. 6.5 minutes remaining of Q3. This is F1 tonight. Netherlands, round 18, the Mexican Grand Prix. So far, Damien Hartman looking the raciest of the lot. Up at the top there with a 1:15.8, the only one in the 1:15 so far.
Riding with Peter Phillips just on a lap at the moment. While I just go through that, I think there's a message waiting.
I am,
you,
yeah, I'm just reading that.
Fix.
So, this is going to be interesting then.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, the fix, possibly, ladies and gentlemen, is to commentate on the YouTube stream. Of course, I can only change the camera 22 seconds earlier than what I can see on the screen. So we'll have to work with that as we go along. So apologies for that. Other than that, though, I think it all sounds pretty good. It's just a shame that the talking matches up with nothing on the screen.
Yeah, I'm not sure I entirely understand that fix.
I don't either. I guess we're speaking... Our talking's delayed as far as I can tell from what we've been told. What we're seeing, is that correct?
Yes, I'm not sure if it's late or early because I've been told both now. We are 22 seconds early with the talking to what's happening on the screen. So we're seeing it 22 seconds before it's being broadcast, if that makes sense.
Right, okay.
Which is a bit unusual. I don't know why it's happening. I don't think it ever happened before.
No, it's an interesting one. I don't know if it's the potential solution to the stream quality that I found, which is Twitch, and then doing it there. Of course, that is rather than a direct stream from my Xbox, more or less, which has no delay. You've also got a stream to Twitch, which is a delay, and then a secondary one to YouTube, which is another delay, which probably is the issue.
Right.
So I'm more than happy, of course, to just revert to the original method in between the race. Sorry, in between qualifying and race. That would be a pretty quick fix.
Yeah.
So
okay.
If everyone's on board, we'll go for that.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's only you and me here, and
well, there we go.
I'm
then.
on board.
I'm on board as well, so perfect. We'll go ahead and do that, just because I don't think commentating on YouTube is going to be a possible option, really, because I'm going to have to preemptively change the camera in the hopes that I can commentate on something that has to happen later on. It just I don't think that's going to work so well. So we'll carry on as is for we'll carry on as is for the qualifying session.
Sil de Wit, though, I think is going to go pole. Yes,
and he does.
Oh well, you'll find out in 22 seconds. But he's pole.
God, I do apologise, everybody. But yeah, Sil de Wit at 15.5. Wow, I mean, I thought Damien was looking quick. Sil just come and said, "Hey, I'm quicker." So he's looking very fast in the Renault, showing some of that pace we saw last time out in Japan. I mentioned he was down the field, down the order in after Q2. I think he might have heard me, and he's saying, "There you go, Dan. I'm quick, mate. Have some of that."
Sander Herm, was it Sander Herm? Sorry, Damien Hartman's just gone. No, Sander Herman's just gone second ahead of Damie, and Nicky Visser's on a very fast lap as well. Purple in the first sector, 27.9. That's about 10th up on Seal. Middle sector is looking strong as well. It hasn't crossed the line just yet. 28.1. That's just 10th down on Seal. So it's going to be tight.
Certainly is, yeah. Like you say,
it's already
Zander.
tight at the top.
It is, yeah. Zander's now up there, as you said. He's free with the 1:15.7. Yeah, look at that gap. I mean, there's a couple of guys at the top.
It's only a 10th up.
Yeah, Nicky Visser 1:15.4. So it's going to be a real battle here as we come to the closing moments of this qualifying session. Hans
right.
Vanderberg is just coming across there. 1:16 dead for him. So wow, just managing to get ahead of Mark Stappers in the Ferrari.
Yeah, speaking of the Ferraris, it's actually a very good performance from the both of them at the moment. 6 and 7 in a minute, and looking like Stappers is on the cool-down lap. He's probably going to go for one more hot lap. John is still in the pit. He's surely going to be coming back out very soon.
Oh yeah, you would have thought so. He'll want to come back out very soon, otherwise he's not going to get out at all. It's about on a slow lap, including the pit lane. It's probably what, a 1:25.
Yeah, he's got 3 seconds to get out there. No.
I don't think he's going to do it.
That's enough from John then.
Yeah, he's happy with that. Marcel Joling, though, he is out on a lap, so he'll be looking to try and jump over John. He's a bit slower in the first sector, I think. As he enters sector 2 here in his Williams. He'll be looking to gain some of that back here in sector 2. One of the toughest sectors to do it in. But again, if you can get it right, you can gain a lot of time here. Looking a bit wide through some of those corners, but he gets those ones right. Nicely on the curbs. And that next DRS section now will help him.
Nicky Visser's retired in the pit. That's fine.
He's satisfied with that. Obviously, Seal's not coming back out. He's still in the pit, so he's unthreatened from him, and it's just Damie who can overthrow him at the moment. Again, all possible. It's only a 10th.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a good first sector from Damie though. He's a 10th down on his own fastest time.
Okay, so we'll be looking the same as Marcel here. He'll be trying to improve through this difficult second sector. He's looking a lot more composed, you could say, through here than last time. Hopefully we can find a little bit extra. He's purple. Just up. Yeah, purple. There in 2. The stadium section now.
Not by much, I have to say.
No, it was just on about 600ths I saw on my screen. So this last sector is vital here for Damien Hartman as he unleashes the car around these last couple of corners. Coming across the line, he does it at 1:15.2. Wow. Well, there you go then. So the 2 championship contenders really at the moment, right at the top there, fighting for pole. Great stuff.
Yeah.
So just ahead of Nicky Visser is Damien Hartman in the Toro Rosso, 15.282.
Yeah, defending champion Damien Hartman.
Yeah, great stuff, and he's defending well. That's going to be almighty, isn't it, between these two off the line, the front row of the grid.
That's right, and don't count out Seal either in
P3
not. Or indeed Sander in P4. Both of them are exceptionally good at starting their races, and in their opening stints in particular.
Yeah, that's going to be very good stuff to see how that unfolds there.
Stappers has got to be happy with that P5 as well. I don't recall seeing him in the top 5 for some time. He has qualified 3rd before on a number of occasions, but yeah, not since sort of quite early on in the season.
Yeah, no, he's looking very good then. I'm sure he'll be happy with being only 600ths off Zander Herman there ahead of him. So it's all very close up and down the green. Really good to see how close all the drivers are here this evening. As he comes into the pit, that concludes the runners. I think we just got Hans Vanderberg there out on track. Obviously his car's driving itself around.
No,
He's finished his lap.
Yeah, he's done. That's right.
And the same for Damien Hartman.
Just waiting for Stabbers to enter the pit. That's it.
There he goes. So there we go, guys. Q3, Damien Hartman up at the front there on the front row with Nicky Visser. He's the one to beat in P2. That's the front row of the grid. Still de Witt and Zander Herman line up on the second row, P3 and 4. Mark Stapper's 5th with Hans Vanderberg behind him in the Toro Rosso, P6. John Dongle for Ferrari is P7 with Marcel Droning in the Williams, P8. Peter Phillip for Haas, P9, and Ari Kopp is down there in P10 for a Racing Point. So with that, guys, I'm going to quickly stop this stream and restart it with the old method, so hopefully we can all be talking and watching the same thing at the same time, because that's how streams should work. And then I'll be right back. So be back in a sec, guys.